And I'm not trying to demonize the taking of TRT. I'm trying to say it's aging you faster and it's putting you on male birth control. The real number one testosterone booster of all time, everywhere, is just the health and fitness industry preaches eat less and move more, which is only a formula for draining your willpower, crashing your hormones, and slowing down your metabolism. 50 years ago, the guy that was 70 had the testosterone of the guy that's today 35. Men's testosterone has dropped 50% in 50 years. You never have even a chance, Brad, at high natural testosterone until you have...
What it is, Brad Lee, back again with another episode of Dropping Bombs. Today in the studio, folks, as always, got a real treat for you. Chris Kruger is in the house. What's up, Chris?
What's up, Brad?
If you guys don't know this dude, you can follow him at Kruger Body. If you're a fat guy over 40, can't get out of your own way, trying to get in shape with the yo-yo bullshit, and you're just like not feeling it, this is one dude that's going to teach you how to get shredded without jabbing 1 ounce of testosterone. So you're against testosterone?
Yes. In one word, yes, absolutely. And so really what testosterone is, if you want to break it down, is it's aging you faster and it's putting you on male birth control, right? It's shrinking your gonads.
That it does.
That it does. And the whole point is you go into the anti-aging doctor and whatever your number is within a range, right? They're going to be like, oh man, this looks a little low. I mean, it's still normal, but it's a little low. Let's get you on a lifetime prescription that crushes your gonads.
Now, why do they say lifetime? You can't stop?
You can stop, but it's just harder to stop every time. And the longer you're on it, you just resign yourself to, you're going to stay on it. Because what it really does is it makes you hypogonadal. And so it's not testosterone replacement therapy, right? If it was testosterone replacement therapy, you'd be like, oh man, you actually lost your gonads, your testes in an accident. And now we're going to replace, your function back to a normal level. So it's not testosterone replacement therapy, it's testicle replacement therapy. And no one goes to get their testosterone replaced. I don't go in with a 450 and like, darn, if I could just get a 450, you go to have an augmentation, right? The same way women go to the breast surgeon doctor to get augmented. And so for people, and I say it's like, we can double or triple your testosterone naturally by playing the hormone game, by living a high fertility life, or we call it the high testosterone life. And so when I speak with women, when I coach women, I can just replace that word high testosterone life with high fertility life, but it's the same thing for either. And when you just back up and realize a couple things, is it gets so easy to double or triple your testosterone naturally. So I'm not saying I'm going to take you from 1,000 to 3,000, but if you're 200s, 300s, 400s, we could be 800s, 900s, 1,000. And at that level, the testosterone does what the testosterone does. And so we don't need to jab TRT, which is only shutting you down and making you age faster, right? So all these guys in their 20s and 30s, yeah, you looked great for a few years, and then you just look older and older and older. And what happens is the more you take, the more you need to maintain the same feeling that you were getting. It's like any other drug, like, oh, well, that many cups of coffee doesn't do it for me anymore. I need this many cups of coffee. And so as you age, you start doing it more and more and more, and then you age faster and faster and faster. And eventually, crush your own natural production, which is like, hey man, we got this really great factory in the heartland of America, and we're turning out all the widgets and everyone's working at the factory and they're happy. But the greedy owner says, you know what, I could just fire everyone and import it from China, right? When you go to jab yourself with that needle, you're just importing the cheap Chinese goods, you're shutting down your factory, and now you've got not a nice town anymore, right? Where people have lost hope. Your gonads lose hope. And so the hope I want for your audience to have is that you don't have to do that. You can look your best, feel your best, be your best. And when we start, the real number one testosterone booster of all time, everywhere, is just winning. So if we can look better, feel better, do better, and feel like we are winning, that is raising your testosterone right there. And we can double or triple from 2, 3, 4, 500s to 800, 900, 1,000
from winning.
Certain. What's that?
Not from winning.
Not just from winning. We want to feel like winners though.
Yeah.
So there's actually a really cool study where these young football guys are like training for the NFL, and the study is actually really jacked up. So they're all running the 40-yard dash. And so for the the intervention, it didn't matter what time the kids were running. They told one group that they were getting slower, and they told one group they were getting faster. And the group they told were getting slower, they felt like losers. Their testosterone tanked. They started actually running slower. So they just created this like self-fulfilling prophecy, this loop. And the kids that they told, even if the kid ran slower, hey, Bobby, you're running faster. Great work. Can't wait to see you out next week to run it again. And that kid came back the next week with higher testosterone and actually ran faster. Right. And so in all species on the planet, if you feel like a winner, and so we talk about this, testosterone will always, you can, how do I want to say this? You never have even a chance, Brad, at high natural testosterone until you have high natural serotonin. And the beautiful thing is I can give you the formula to make high natural serotonin. And so this is your awake, alert, happy, confident, optimistic hormone. If I have that, now I have a chance at high testosterone, but I got to kind of win this game in the middle. And so it's not your genetics or anything. Like, your genetics are great. Your genetics have been here since the beginning of humankind, but we have two modes to operate them. And this is like epigenetics, right? So to simplify, there's the I'm just surviving mode, right? And to just survive, this is like, hey, we're in the back of the cave. It's raining, ice, snow outside. There's nothing to hunt. There's nothing to eat. There's no sunlight. So we're going to hide in the back of the cave and we're going to survive until spring or summer comes. And so we're going to be selfish. We're going to be self-centered. We're going to be depressed. We're going to not spend any extra energy. We're going to be very low fertility. Why would we spend time making testosterone if we're not even going outside, right? We're not trying to bring on more children and have more children. So this low serotonin state, this depression is actually a survival mechanism. And so all you need to do to flip those epigenetics over is show yourself the high fertility, the high testosterone life. Which is going outside and making serotonin. And so to set it up for you, the formula for serotonin is just, well, can I back up 1 second just to get there?
Sure.
So Brad, what does your hormones are sending you signals, right? One of the biggest signals that we need to interpret correctly to win the high testosterone, to win the hormone game, is hunger. So Brad, when you feel hungry, like, what is your body trying to tell you? What does hunger mean?
Well, it should mean eat. It needs nutrients.
Okay. Maybe your body needs nutrients, right? But if it's me and you and we're the big wolves in the wolf den, right? And there's Wolf Brad and Wolf Chris. And you say, you know what, Wolf Chris? I'm hungry. And I look back and I'm like, you know what, Brad? Wolf Brad? I'm hungry too, brother.
Let's go hunt.
Let's go hunt. And so the word hunger and the word hunter, you just flip that G to a T. So the first thing we do is we go outside. We're not hiding in the back of the cave anymore, ordering Uber Eats or DoorDash or whatever, getting on the Domino's app. We're going outside. We stick our noses in the air and we're going to work hard. Now, we're not wearing Fitbits, but we're going to go work hard and we're going to hunt. And even, if have you ever had this experience like, hey, I was going to eat, I felt hungry, but then I did the workout. And then after the workout, you're not really hungry, but you know it's time to eat?
No.
That doesn't make sense?
I mean, it makes sense, but I've never felt that.
Okay, so for a lot of people, they would answer, yeah, man, I felt hungry earlier. Then I went out hunting, or I went out to worked out, whatever. I released the endorphins, right? I created insulin sensitivity. I released growth hormone. I trained my fast twitch muscle fibers. And I felt pretty good. And then it was time to eat. And so if hunger means hunter, right? We got to go beast before we feast. Then we get to the feast. Do I look at my app if I'm the wolf and say, oh, dude, I got to eat less, man. They told me to move more, right? That's what the fitness is. I got to move more, but I got to eat less because I got to lose weight, Brad. No, the wolf only knows his hormones, right? It could be a tiger, whatever your favorite thing is, sea otter, but the hormones are what's important. And so when we stop trying to do this energy balance game nonsense, we can start working on our hormones. And so the bodybuilder's way around this is, oh, well, I'm going to do this thing that obviously tanks my hormones, right? I'm going to move more. I'm going to do more cardio. I'm going to lift more weights. I'm going to crash my natural testosterone, right? I'm going to feel terrible, get depressed, but then I'm just going to inject testosterone. And instead, this lifestyle is how you just naturally get it pumping, where we look better, feel better, do better, get better. You get more testosterone. You feel more like a winner. And the next day it's even easier because now you have higher natural testosterone. And so if we go outside, we're hunting, we get done, we're at the Buffalo Buffet, right? If we go to like the best steakhouse in Vegas right now, Brad, and we bring out, what's your favorite steak?
New York strip.
New York strip. How big is it on the menu where you go?
14 ounces.
14 ounce. And you get it.
I'm going to go get one right after this.
Awesome. Well, I'm free. My flight's not till 5.
All right. I'll bring you.
Okay, let's go, dude. If you're getting your 14 ounce New York strip, how's it cooked?
Medium.
Medium. Beautiful. So they bring out your favorite. Is this your favorite steak in the world? Like
yes.
Yeah. So you get your favorite steak in the world. And I'm like, Brad, surprise. I went and talked to the waiter while you were gone, or I got up and I left. I talked to the waiter right after you finish the last bite of your 14 ounce New York. And he brings another one, sets it down. Brad, I know this is your favorite food. Hey, this one's on Chris. 14 ounce New York strip. Let's go. How much of that second New York are you going to eat?
None.
And that is the hormone leptin. And if we interpret leptin as we are nourished and we don't need to eat anymore, we've just about won the hormone game right there, right? Because there is an amino acid in the first steak. We didn't even need to eat the second steak. So we've just shut off your hunger. And the tricky part is the waiter could still come in and say, oh man, you want that second one in to-go box? He takes that away, but he slides in the dessert menu. And so the dessert menu, you're like, oh, that's the dessert pouch. I didn't want the steak is my favorite food. I like the steak way more than the dessert, but now I kind of would like a dessert, right? I got my dessert.
Who doesn't?
Pouch. Who doesn't, right? Never skip dessert. And so there is actually a thing that I do where I have my clients eat in this hockey game format, right? First period is the carbs. First period is dessert because we just created insulin sensitivity. Now insulin gets a bad rap, like, oh, that's my fat storage hormone. Yeah, but it's also your most anabolic hormone. And so if we eat the carbs first, and then we eat carbs and protein, and then we just eat protein, we finish on what's called the leptin lid, where you're not hungry anymore. We just took the steak away. If we had the carbs, if we wanted to order dessert, if it was the steakhouse, on a one time, oh, we're going to get dessert, we're eating dessert afterwards. But as an everyday thing, if you finish your meal with that leptin lid, now you're no longer hungry, but you have a ton of
energy.
Well, we'll get to like, yes, we'll be carved up, right? Well, we will, but you have a ton of amino acids. And so there's an amino acid, this is bringing it back, doing the weave, that we use to create serotonin. It is the precursor to serotonin, it is the building block of serotonin. And so most people aren't eating all the protein that they probably should. They're not triggering the leptin. They're always hungry. They're on the blood sugar roller coaster. They're feeling miserable. They're not fitting into what I call the forever genes without muffin topping them. Right? They're exposing themselves to unnecessary, heart attack, stroke, aneurysm, all this cardiovascular disease risk, and all these other diseases as well. And so the steak had in it all these amino acids. The amino acid that we need, it's not a branch chain amino acid, right? It's not an essential amino acid, but your body is never going to make enough of this one amino acid that is the precursor to serotonin unless you eat complete protein and trigger leptin. And so now we have this giant pool of raw material, right? The actual amino acid is tryptophan. And so every year at Thanksgiving, tryptophan, oh, well, the turkey made me fall asleep. No, bro, you're in a carb coma, and that's why you slept through the Cowboys football game, right? Tryptophan is the precursor to serotonin. Do you know what you do to turn that turn that tryptophan into serotonin? Like what the step is?
No.
Okay. What's the first thing the wolves did?
Hunt.
They went out to hunt, but before they hunted, they had to go outside. And so if you just let the light from sunlight, from daylight, it could be the most, like I grew up in Tacoma, Washington, shout out to the 253, but you go out 9 months a year and it's raining and terrible and awful. And the summers are beautiful, but it's raining and terrible and awful. And so people stay inside. But even if it's the worst, rainy, coldest day, you can't let your body think, oh, we're depressed in the back of the cave. You got to go out and see the sun and be in the sunlight. And when sun is in your eyes and in your ears and entering your brain, your body says, all right, where's the tryptophan? Let's make serotonin. And now you're awake, you're alert, you're happy, you're confident, you're optimistic. And so I think there's some really bad science where we did SSRIs, right? selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors. And we tried to jigger around chemically with serotonin because people were sad. Dude, if we eat and trigger the leptin and we have the tryptophan and we go outside, that's serotonin through the roof. That's optimism. That's going into the high fertility life instead of the low fertility life, the high testosterone life instead of the low testosterone life.
Well, again, I hear a million of you guys and you all have different freaking stories.
Okay.
So what makes you correct versus everybody else?
And so my pushback there, Brad, is I'd say there's a million people, and I will give your audience, if you want the $10,000 VIP coaching program from the other million guys out there, and some are more successful on social media and they market it better and they've got better ads and they make tons of money and drive Lambos, I could give you that formula, but it's the wrong formula.
Wrong formula for what though?
For your health, fitness, longevity, fertility, everything.
Well, wouldn't it matter what somebody wants?
And so it does matter what someone wants. Because
there's some guys, they want that shredded, what I call juiced look, meaning there's not a lot of people that look like that unless they're on juice.
Right.
That's how you can always tell, like, dude, you're on juice.
If you want a physique that is so juiced that women are no longer attracted to it, that they don't find it attractive, then I'm not your guy. If you want the actual, like we could go Conan the Barbarian, Arnold Schwarzenegger 80s version versus Brad Pitt Fight Club. Put it out to the ladies. What do you want your man to look like? What are you attracted to? Conan the Barbarian or Brad Pitt Fight Club? 100,000 women, and we probably have 999,998 saying Brad Pitt Fight Club. And so if you're for the juice look, dude, I'm not for you.
Well, Brad Pitt Fight Club was lean.
Yes.
It wasn't real muscular. It was just lean. So is lean the same formula you're talking about? Eat and then go outside. That's all he did.
Oh, we're not to the end of the hormone game.
Right, well, I want to almost get there, but before I do, the people listening that are already above 40, they're already on testosterone. They've already, felt better, because I don't know if it's placebo or what, but some people will. Now, again, my story, I didn't feel any better on testosterone or off testosterone. Yeah. I felt good both ways. Like, I stopped it before, still felt great. Wasn't on it, felt great. Started it, didn't feel any better, but still felt great. So like for me, my testimony as far as testosterone goes, I don't think I feel any better on it than I do off of it. So why do I take it? Well, because aren't we supposed to be at 800, 900? And I was at 400. So the doctor who we listened to said, sure, you could start doing it and it will keep you from aging, which is why I did it. Anti-aging. I didn't have dick problems. I didn't have any issues. I just wanted to not age so fast. And supposedly that's what they say. So why would I listen to you rather than a doctor?
Because now you're aging twice as fast.
Right? According to you.
You go out and look at the TRT, the steroid guys, and you'll be like, dude, I thought this guy was in his 30s. That guy's in his 50s. What are we like? You're going to start aging twice as fast. And the real truth is all your hormones are supposed to be working in concert, and you can't your testosterone is going to spike naturally each morning and then wane throughout the day. And so the most common protocols are like, we're shooting test once a week or twice a week. And so maybe even Dan Bilzerian is shooting it every single morning to try to link up with what his natural cycle would be. But still, you're having higher testosterone throughout the day. And so your exposure to any hormones, especially exogenous, is only aging you faster. And so if you look at the people that are aging the fastest, they're the 300 pounders that their bodies are pumping way too much insulin. So they're getting exposed to all of their insulin. And then the doctors that we're supposed to listen to are saying, hey, let's jab you with some more insulin.
I almost want to call my concierge doctor and get him on three-way.
Okay.
And let's see what he thinks.
Okay. Or call him up, or let's stop by after lunch.
But you're not a doctor, correct?
Not a doctor.
So what gives
my highest credential, I did an internship at UCLA, and I'm a certified strength and conditioning specialist. So I would have all these athletes at UCLA come to me after their official team workout, and we started doing what I call my core 4 workout. And so balance, mobility, core strength, but correct. Not a doctor, just helping real people avoid going on TRT and helping them look, feel, and be their best.
And you've seen obviously many evident success.
It couldn't be more evident when you start living this lifestyle, right? I had a guy last year, 110 pounds, started at like 330 pounds, drops 110 pounds in 10 months doing 15-minute home workouts. Didn't need tests, didn't go to the gym. I don't even have a gym membership actually. And so there is a lifestyle that you can live that is the one, Brad, that would have taken you from a 450 testosterone test where the doctor says, oh, well, let's just get on this. And we could have said, hey, if we just do a few little lifestyle interventions, we're going to get you up to an 800, 900, 1,000 without having to shoot anything, right? And then you don't have to go on, you don't have to go off, your fertility isn't interrupted, and you get all of the benefits with none of the side effects, right?
Well, I text him to see if he's willing to pipe in at least audio.
Okay.
And we'll see, because he may agree with you. I don't know that he would or wouldn't, but I mean, he says, you know, I think all doctors probably would say, because this is the thing that freaking pisses everybody off. I'm trying to keep my age down. You're saying it's going up, you know, but you're not a doctor. So why should I listen to you? And then you're like, well, look at this. And then it's like, yeah, that's pretty evident. Well, then why did doctors say this? And then you move to doctors and they don't even agree. There's doctors that will say no test is best. And then there's doctors that say, well, they're total bullshit. But what's funny is you see some doctors that are shredded, they're for test. And then you see the ones that are against test looking like soft little beta bitches. So it's almost like, who's telling the truth?
Okay. I
want the damn truth, because you know what? I don't need to be shredded with the freaking veins popping, even though that'd be nice. I would rather be healthy. You understand? Like, in other words, health is more important than my aesthetics. So like, yeah, I know if I took Winstrol and Tren and all this other shit, I could get jacked real quick. But dude, that's not healthier than not doing it. So I don't do the heavy shit. But the TRT replacement that a ton of men are on right now,
5 million.
I know, but they're doing it under doctor's cares, under doctor's advisement. And you're saying that's wrong. And you're not a doctor. So like, why would people listen to you?
They don't need to listen to me, but it is the truth. And so you can go out and look at all the guys that are on TRT or that are pushing it a little harder. You can just see them aging faster.
But you don't have any studies. That's just your opinion.
Just go look it with your own eyes. And so
how do I know if they're aging faster? We don't watch them for 10 years. This is what
Big Brother tells you, is like, don't believe your own eyes. Right. So people, you can go find him on the like, I eat steroids for breakfast. This dude's 29 years old. He looks like he's in his 50s. Right? It is aging you, right? What's aging you is the exposure to even your own hormones, right? That's why the sickest people are diabetics, because their body's making too much insulin, trying to keep up. It's aging them faster, right? And so, you know, when you go past the God-given natural testosterone and you start injecting yourself, you are exposing yourself to all the risks of TRT. And there's lots of people that are
What are the risks?
And you're putting your whole body on excess testosterone, right?
Well,
excess exogenous testosterone.
Excess for your age, maybe, because again, at some point my testosterone was this level.
Right. And so there's also, so here's what I'm saying, Brad, your testosterone at 450 could have been at 900 if we would beast and feast and fast and sleep.
Now, beast, feast, fast, and sleep, that's your deal. So beast means go out and work.
Yeah.
Run, get your fast twitches going, just exercise, get your heart rate up.
No.
Lift weights.
And so here's the whole health and fitness industry is going to tell you, hey man, we got to exercise to burn calories. We got to do cardio because it's healthy. And then we got to lift weights so we can get huge muscles. And none of that's true if you just want to be healthy. And so Brad, if we want to just be healthy, then we don't need TRT.
No, I want to be healthy and look good.
Right. And so if you actually look at what looking good means, and if we define that for a man as being attractive to women, it is a shoulder to waist ratio where you're lean about 12% body fat. And you can say, well, does 12 really mean 12 or does it mean between 9 and 15? So if you're between 9 and 15% body fat, you are
Which I am.
You're wearing you're wearing 32 or maybe 34-inch jeans and you're sliding them on comfortably, and there's no muffin top. There's no back fat hanging out the back.
I got a little of that still.
So a little of that, right? And so if we had these results and like even...
Yeah, but dude, you're what I don't get, dude, is number one, what if you're 5'8", but your ratios are in the golden ratio zone? Who gives a shit? You're fucking short.
Well, I'm not condemning any short people.
Well, I'm not condemning them either, but ask women if they want a short dude, and most answers are no.
Right. So
okay, so they don't care about no ratios. They're like your height.
Dude. Right. So yes.
Okay. So
controlling for height, it is your shoulder to weight ratio. And then are you somewhere in this range of 9 to 12, maybe a little bit higher body fat percentage? And that's what women will find the most attractive. So if you take two guys and you control for height, hey, we're both 5'8". We're twins and we're 5'8". The guy that's the massively jacked steroid bodybuilder on one end, the guy that's the massively obese connoisseur of Snickers bars on the other end, and the dude that just looks athletic and can do 20 pull-ups and maybe pull off a few pistol squats and is wearing...
What are pistol squats?
Oh, one-legged squat. It's the best exercise there is.
Where you stick one leg out?
Stick one leg out.
I don't know if I can even do that.
And so you don't have to.
Dude, I used to have monster legs. I mean, my legs were big and they were strong. I remember like pressing, you know, when you sit down and put the weights on the sled or whatever.
Yeah, leg press.
Leg press. I used to put massive weight on that and pop, 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 pop. I had strong legs. Then for like 20 some years, I didn't work out at all. And then when I went to start working out again, I tried to do the legs and they were shaking with hardly any weight on them. And now like I refuse to put more than a 45 on each pound on each side when I'm squatting, because like, dude, my legs are gone. How do you get your legs back?
And so we're going to get your weight or your legs back. There's all these exercises that pre-pandemic, right? Before COVID shut the gyms down, I was the #1 in-person personal trainer at Equinox. So I was at the Century City Club. There's like 3,000 trainers in the company. I was the #1 trainer. And I would start every workout with the same boring stuff, but it is mobility and balance. So we need a little thermogenic warm-up. We just do a few jumping jacks. And then we move into this mobility and balance where it's like, Brad, if we can't just stand on one leg with our knee bent, kind of like this little sprinter stance, right? I'm standing on one leg, my knee's bent over my toe. I'm sticking the other leg out the back and I'm just kind of like a freeze frame of a sprinter. If you can't hold that for like 200 seconds, why do we need to do anything else in the gym? If you don't have the balance and the stamina to just stand on one leg. And so this is what I do for my clients is we back it all the way up to the beginning and rebuild you with hormone optimization and maybe 15-minute home workouts. And if you're great at 15-minute home workouts, well, dude, we can go outside and do a few little 20-yard sprints, or maybe this little box is kind of like linebacker footwork drills. And then if we can do that, then we can add in some weights. But most of and here's the thing, we didn't even
Do you think I could do all those things?
I could get you to do all those things. 100%.
Do you think I could right now?
No. You could do a pistol squat?
Show me one.
Am I on camera? Where do I got to stand?
Well, you if you move, you won't, but let's just see.
So in jeans, no warm up, been sitting all day. I do the weak side or the good side?
Any side you'd like. Yeah, I don't know if I could do that.
No, you can't, but
I could try it, but I don't know if I could do that. That seems very
I'll hold your hand.
That seems very uncomfortable.
So the level before that.
Can most 40-year-old guys do that or no?
They could do. So my clients can. But you just hold this for 200 seconds.
Well, I can do that. You're smoking crack.
Hit the timer on your phone. 200 seconds right there.
I'll do it after the podcast. We'll have you back and then we'll tell people whether I did or didn't. But dude, like that?
100. I've had guys tell me like,
hold on. You're talking about this?
Well, God, I can't see you back there.
Oh, I look like I'm sprinting.
You got to bend this knee.
Bend it more?
Yeah, and then just
dude, you weren't that far down.
Oh, how far? I just did a whole squat.
Go.
200 seconds right here.
Yeah, I could do that for 200 seconds. What will happen for most people? They fall.
This? Like I have.
Well, I was doing that in the beginning.
Right.
But I could hold it for probably a minute or two.
Right. And 200 seconds is 3 minutes and 20 seconds. So I'm not saying you can't do it for a minute.
Should you be able to do it?
But you should be able to just do that anytime. Like whatever the reason is, Chris, challenge.
Because like some people can't bend over and touch their toes. I can.
Right.
But I'm 56. You're only 42.
42, but how old do I look?
I don't know.
All right.
I'm not good at age.
Yeah.
I always go over because when people say, how old do I look? They're obviously older than they look.
Yeah.
Because that's why they ask that. So when someone says, how old do I look? I always tack on 5-6 years.
Bro, I think 46.
Yeah. Again, you probably look 35, 40.
Yeah. Well, it's not fair because people have better or worse amounts of hair.
But if you told me you were 32, I wouldn't think, damn, you look 40.
Yeah.
I'd believe you.
Fair.
Just recently, my eyes and everything starting to get a little age on them, but like, dude, I don't look 56. That's for damn sure.
Yeah.
I don't look 56, but recently I'm starting to. It's like almost seemed like a month ago I looked way better than I do right now. It's like, holy shit. Is it starting?
A month ago was how long after you restarted TRT?
I don't know, but I've restarted TRT for like a year or two ago.
Yeah. And so now, let's just say, we think it makes you age twice as fast. Well, if you do it for a year, you're only 2 years older.
Will it reverse if you stop?
I think that's absolutely your best chance, right? So if we're a diabetic and we reverse our diabetes, probably look better and feel better.
When someone's going to a doctor under doctor's care, and what about the guys that say they felt like shit and now they feel great again? What about those guys?
To those guys, I say, why don't we get you to feel great all the time without the TRT?
But right? What you're saying is instead of injecting TRT, what they should have done was beast, feast, and whatever.
Beast, feast, fast, and sleep, baby.
Now, when you say fast,
so you fast, right?
I technically fast every day, but like I don't fast for like 3 days at a time. I eat during a 6 hour window, 1 to 7. That's why I'm watching this clock. Because like here in 20 minutes, it'll be 12:32. We'll bail. I'll bring you down to get one of those New York strips, but I also get a blue cheese wedge, a tuna pokey, and I usually finish it off with a dessert called berries and cream, which is basically just berries and whipped cream.
Okay. We're going to beast before that though?
No.
2 sets of push-ups?
I beasted this morning.
Okay.
All right. Well, he's in an Uber. You ready to call him in?
Dude, call him in.
Let's see what he says.
Let's go.
Now, this is Dr. David Boyd. He is a concierge doctor for a lot of the top people.
Hey, man.
Dr. Boyd.
Yes, sir.
I have you on speaker. We're talking to Mr. Chris Kruger, who basically is a fit dude. I mean, he's pretty shredded here, almost to where you'd think he was on test, but he says it's all natural and people shouldn't be on test. And I said, well, what about all this? But he's not a doctor. I'm like, let me call my doctor and see what he goes, you guys might agree. You ready?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So this is Dr. David Boyd, concierge doctor to some of the top people around, entrepreneurs, especially athletes, celebrities, etc. Now, obviously, doctor, you've got certain patients on TRT. Yeah,
I do.
And Chris says, like, you could have just feasted, fasted, and slept, and your testosterone would have doubled, tripled.
So my answer would be, and first of all, Chris sounds like, absolutely ripped guy, and so glad that it's working for him. And I would say the answer is it really depends. It depends on the individual. Here's the reality of the situation, especially the population that I work with. These are really hard charging individuals. So these are folks that have been in the entrepreneur game for, 15, 20, 30 years, things like that. The level of stress that they are under on a regular basis, it's just not the same as someone who has a regular 9-to-5 job that can rely on a paycheck. So a lot of times, by the time these folks hit their mid-40s and 50s and such, I check the testosterone level and they're in like the 100s, 200s, things like that. The reality situation is you can use Tonga Ali, you can go to leg day, you can cold plunge, you can fast, you can do all those things. And will it increase your testosterone? 100%, absolutely, it will. But when someone's at 150 and you increase them a couple hundred points to like now 400, it's just still subpar for the level of life that these individuals are living. That's just the reality.
Now, what do you say to that?
So I would say, Dr. Boyd, ideally, if these same high performing individuals in the entrepreneur game for 10, 20, 15 years were to come to you with low testosterone and say, hey, you know what? I get the TRT thing. I'm actually, for whatever reasons, they're religious reasons or role modeling for their sons or daughters. They don't want to be shooting up testosterone for whatever reason. And they say, well, give me some lifestyle interventions or point me in the direction for someone that can do this for me. Do you think you could take someone, right, and do lifestyle practices that are going to increase their growth hormone, increase their serotonin, decrease their cortisol that's unnecessary, right? I understand that some people, they are in stressful situations. I could actually tell you guys about a similar VIP client that is in the same situation. And I take those people, and instead of going right to TRT on the first time we get it tested, is we say, okay, well, let's try these lifestyle interventions. And just every time we're able to dramatically increase their health and experience of life, right? The high testosterone life I get is a better life. And that's why I, preach what I preach and practice what I preach, is because as a man, it's just more enjoyable to be a high testosterone male. And so all I'm saying is, hey, I got my testosterone checked. Look, it's 1,007, right? And so if I see that you're
at 42, he's 42.
If I see that you're a 300, 400, 500 guy, it's not out of the question that we can, you're still going to be in your high stress career, but that we can say, well, let's get you to an 800, 900,000 guy naturally without the needles, without the testosterone, and without any of the side effects. And if we say that's just, accelerated aging, right? We look how Liver King looks now. Like that dude is pretty beat and he look great.
Doctor, you think testosterone accelerates your aging?
No, it absolutely, it's the exact opposite, actually. And I mean, there's plenty of studies to prove that. So I understand, Chris, where you're coming from. And absolutely, if you could do things naturally, man, great. I've never had someone take lifestyle interventions and get more than a couple hundred points. I've literally never seen it happen. Is it because someone isn't following a strict enough diet? Is it because they're not fasting enough or whatever the case may be? I don't know. Maybe that's the case. But I've literally never seen it where someone can go from like a 200 to 1,000. They may get a couple hundred points by doing that, in which case, wonderful, because that may be where they want to be at, or that may be where they feel best. But you said something that was a mouthful that was really interesting. You said something to the effect of that they wouldn't want their sons to see them injecting, almost demonizing the use of TRT in the first place.
Well, and so Dr. Boyd, there are a lot of men that hide their TRT use. They've come to me and said, hey, I don't want my son know I'm taking this. I don't even want my wife knowing I'm taking this. I'm doing injections in the bathroom to keep it from them. So that is a real thing. And I'm not trying to demonize the taking of TRT. I'm trying to say, hey, there are lifestyle interventions. And I understand with whatever lifestyle interventions you're saying, oh, we got to diet harder. You don't have to diet harder, right? You have to eat to release leptin, right? I don't tell my clients to eat less. I tell them to eat more. I don't try to tell them to go to sleep. I tell them to try to stay awake. But when we set up the hormone game so that we've got high serotonin occurring naturally, we know the formula for that. We've got all the things that we can do to get a little more growth hormone without releasing more cortisol. Oh man, I thought I had to go to the gym and work out harder to get in shape. No, you don't, because you got the growth hormone pump in the first 15 minutes, and then you stayed there like a jerk for 75 minutes and increased your cortisol. So you just offset the whole workout. When we start winning the hormone game, when we do it naturally, we can avoid, whether we feel shame about it or not, whether we feel any way about, TRT or hormone replacement or not, you can do it without it. And the guy that I can take from a 200, 300 to a 400, 500, all he needs is another 6 months to be a 700, 800, 1,000. That's what it's really about. And we can look at these other metrics, triglycerides to HDL ratio. We can look at your waist size, right? If we take the tape measure around at your belly button, is it 45% of your height or less? And so when we can improve these other metrics, like how many pull-ups can you do? Right? If your strength to weight ratio is off to the point where you can't do a single pull-up, and you should probably be like, I would say the level of pull-ups we want every man doing, even in their 50s, is like you could just grab the bar and do 14 at any time. And so when
that's
you take
pretty tough.
That's what I'm talking about. I'm saying you can do pistol squats, Brad. We could get you to pistol squats. And these are tests of relative body strength. And that's what it's really about. If you are lean enough and you get the shoulder to weight ratio, and we're done with having organ fat, right? Visceral fat and heart fat and muscle fat. And we just get lean and healthy and we look more like natural athletes in our 20s, we can do all of that. And it might take a little longer, and it's not the shortcut. It's not the needle.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love that. I love that you are taking a natural approach, and sounds like, you know, you're preaching good, clean diet, whole foods, all those things. And that's great. That's wonderful. And that may be for some of the folks that you work with. When you start broadening out to a larger population of folks, the reality is that we live in a society where folks want things instantly. They want it quick. This is the reason why liposuction and plastic surgery is way more popular than people actually going and counting their calories and keeping a clean diet.
And so, Dr. Boyd, again, I'm not telling anyone to count their calories. I'm telling them to eat more. I'm telling them to trigger leptin. And so when you set the game up where every step makes the next step easier, right? Hunger meant hunt. So now I'm out on the hunt. I'm creating insulin sensitivity. I'm releasing growth hormone. And these are things that work for all people as long as they are human, right? These are the principles of healthy living.
I don't argue with you that they work for everyone, my friend, but it's whether or not they will do it. It's whether or not people will actually have discipline to do it.
And Dr. Boyd, I love that you're saying that, because it is not discipline. Right? Everyone thinks, and they fail because the health and fitness industry preaches eat less and move more, which is only a formula for draining your willpower, crashing your hormones, and slowing down your metabolism. But that's all health and fitness industry people have to offer. And when they offer it, oh man, well, this is just getting harder. I'm either going to quit the diet or I'm going to go on the sauce. And the reality is you don't need to do either. We have to get out the whole paradigm of eat less and move more has never worked, right? We just had healthy people 100 years ago, and now we've got all the gyms in the world. It used to be you were weird if you went to the gym, right? I don't have a gym membership, but I don't need one. And so
the healthy people part is a bit relative, and I understand what you're saying here. It sounds like you have some very good comebacks for these things. Consider that people are living longer now than they ever have before.
Yeah, through sick care. So there's no doubt that people can be sick and live longer, right? Without health span.
Hang on. I'm not talking about just your average person popping the pills. I mean, the population that I work with, these are folks that they want to be lean, mean, have high energy, amazing sex drive, and they want to do it until they're dead, which is
coming sooner if they're on TRT.
I mean, not based on science.
No, based on science. So if you control for their actual levels of health, right? Their amount of visceral fat, their amount of muscle mass, and we could do grip strength or whatever. The healthier, stronger people with the lower triglycerides and the higher HDL will always live longer. And so what I've seen just on a friend of mine today that shared with me his numbers after doing TRT. What he's done through TRT is he has totally divorced his testosterone level from his HDL level, right? And the only way to continue to feel better on testosterone is to continue to take more. Whereas every day I can continue to make more. And that's the point, is that you look better, you feel better, you do better, and you get more testosterone. And so I would say, Dr. Boyd, for all of your patients, it would be so amazing if say, okay, frontline intervention, we're not putting you on TRT. Go talk to Chris Kruger. He will get you straightened out. We will bring up your growth hormone. We will bring up your serotonin. We will pull back on the cortisol, because there's so many things where high achieving people, and trust me, these are my clients, where they sabotage themselves, where they have all this stress in their life that they don't need to have, where they are doing more instead of doing less, where they are working harder instead of just letting things come. And so that is the point. And when you go back to the health and industry, they have to eat less, move more, diet harder, track their macros. My clients don't do any of that. You follow a lifestyle. It is a daily lifestyle and environment that is just stacking a few habits. And we could outline that in 4 habits, or we could outline it in 8 habits.
I love that you're speaking to the habit side of things. The reality of the situation, my friend, is when you have someone who is running a $10 or $20 million company and they're growing it to a $50 million company, telling them, hey, listen, you need to have less stress in your life. It doesn't work. doesn't happen. Now, I'm not sitting here telling you that every person needs to be on testosterone. I didn't say that once. The premise of the call was, does testosterone, can it be of benefit? And like I said in the very beginning, yeah, it can. And it depends on the person, and it needs to be a very precise and personalized thing, if at all. So
if at all,
I don't argue with you. I don't argue with you that keeping a clean diet, getting appropriate rest, trying to mitigate stress as much as possible will all improve someone's health. Yes, of course. It'll help improve someone's hormones. They'll eat better. They'll feel more clear. They won't be as mentally stressed. But when you get to the point where you're talking about very elite individuals or just the regular person that just wants to make improvements in their life, that's a very personalized thing. That's personalized. That's precise for each individual. So you can't take a blanket approach where you just say, hey, you know what, we're going to get you to eat better, move more, sleep better. And, that's going to vary for every individual.
So Dr. Boyd, I think we absolutely can take a blanket approach to, if we only tested your testosterone once, we should probably work on some of these things and then come back and check it again in 6 months. But the standard of care in the
testosterone.
What's that?
I check my patients' testosterone every quarter, and we make adjustments based on that.
And so
again,
Dr.
it's a very
Boyd,
precise thing. It's not just here, let's stick you and get it as high as possible.
of course. So Dr. Boyd, I appreciate that. What I'm saying is, for your average patient, the way you run things at your clinic, how many times is a man's testosterone checked before you prescribe testosterone? Do they get it checked and come back in a quarter after adjusting on their beasting, feasting, and fasting, on adjusting their hormone optimization naturally? And then you come back in 3 months and you see an improvement, and then they come back in 3 months and you see an improvement, and then maybe they don't improve, and after 6 months, we decide, hey, now it is time to start TRT? Or do they take one test once in their life and then go on TRT?
I've never had someone come to me who's only had one test.
Okay, one test with you.
Hear me out. Can I?
Yeah, of course.
Question. I'm answering your question. So the majority of guys, and I take care of women as well, but the majority of guys that come to me, these are folks that they've probably been to the corner TRT clinic already, where they're just getting shot up with as much testosterone as possible and given an anastrozole to lower their estrogen levels as much as possible, because that's the cookie cutter approach that's taken. So these are folks that we already have a fair amount of labs on them. We try to get the baseline labs before they ever started testosterone in the first place. And then the next question is, what is it you're trying to achieve in your life? Because the reality of the situation is that we can actually reverse engineer someone's health, their longevity, and really what they want to accomplish. And of course, we do this through hormone manipulation as well as cancer prevention, etc. Yeah, this is the example that, and I see what you're getting at, which I really like you taking a natural approach to this. But so the example that I like to give is, you look at Sylvester Stallone. This guy, he's 80 years old. He's 80 years old. He looks absolutely amazing. He's still doing movies and TV shows and all that and everything. And Sly Stallone, he was a proponent of testosterone and growth hormone and all this stuff back in like the 80s and 90s, before it was a vogue thing to talk about. So I don't know about you, but I plan to be an old man that's absolutely shredded, still has plenty of energy, and is absolutely killing life.
Well, we got a lot of confirmation bias on the Sly Stallone. I can appreciate that. Yes, he's still, through modern medical miracles and plastic surgeries, he's still alive and making TV. So I'll agree with that. What I will say is, I would love it if everyone took the approach of, no matter how many, when I get my first testosterone check, I'm going to go first and say, well, how do I double or triple this number through lifestyle interventions only? And if we can't do that within 6 to 12 months, dude, take all your money back and go get as much TRT as you want.
Hey, so quick question. Is that fair to say? Like, in other words, if life were perfect and, everyone could, would it be best for someone to where, if you got your test and it was low, first go try this 6-month natural shit, and if it doesn't go, then we'll implement it? I mean, you already know, doctor, there's a million people that are going to be like, I don't want that. I want the shots. That's why I'm here. But I mean, at the end of the day, would it be better for someone's health if they tried that first?
Listen, I'm all for doing things as natural as possible. Like 100%. If someone can go and do something without ever taking a pill, a shot, an injection, or anything, and they're willing to put in the time, the effort, and everything to make that happen, man, fantastic. So, if someone has that level of discipline to do that, great. I'd say go for it. Does that mean it's going to be right for every person? No, it's going to be, for select individuals. So, if you have if there's a path to it that is tried and true, that you're like, you know what, this I really see high success rates for those folks that want to put in that kind of work and that kind of time and everything, man, more power to you. And thank you for helping to just make society better and healthier. The reality is that's not going to be for everybody, So for the other folks that have they've tried that, it didn't work for them, or the level of effort that they're willing to put in isn't as much, or they're like, you know what, I just want to hit my damn target. I want to hit my target so I can lose weight, feel great, live a long time, have amazing sex. If that means taking a poke twice a week, if that's what does it, then so be it. Then there you go. And that's how you can tell the difference between the populations.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Boyd.
Absolutely.
Hey, I want to start doing podcasts where I got opposing views in the same studio. That would be wonderful.
Bro, I'm happy to debate anybody. And and I'm sorry, what's this gentleman's name?
Chris,
you sound like an amazing dude. Sound like you know what you're talking about. And I love that. Seriously, I love the fact that you are, just helping to make people healthier, especially it's embarrassing. Just got out of an Uber. I was just walking through the airport here in Austin, and the number of obese men that are walking around here in Austin, some of them wearing rainbow t-shirts, but the number of obese men walking around, you figure this way, God forbid, if there was a fire, if there was an active shooter situation, these are folks that don't look like my grandfather did. That's for sure. So yeah. I appreciate you and what you're doing to help make society better.
Yeah. Well, I think, when you talk about those populations, I like just walking through the hotel last night in Vegas here is people, we got to bring back like human dignity. Like you should look like a person, right? And whether you're a Darwinist and you believe we're the ultimate apex predator, or you're saying, hey, the Bible says I'm made in the image of God. Either way, we got to do a lot better than I'm 300 pounds waddling through the airport or the casino. So Dr. Boyd, right. Thank you.
Absolutely, man.
Thanks, doctor. Talk soon. All right. Hey, and make sure. All right. See ya. I was going to be funny and say, make sure my testosterone gets delivered. But no, dude, listen, I figured he would mostly agree. Yeah. Because I've talked to him for years and he's mostly, he doesn't argue, what he knows to be the truth. When the truth is more than likely, if what you're saying they're willing to do, well, of course it's better. Yeah. And I wanted to say it at the end just to make sure everyone that heard, because there's some people going, see, he's saying testosterone. No. What the doctor said was, if someone were able to do all that, which a lot of people won't, or your point was, well, they're able. Well, I know, but like if you told me, Brad, you got to do this, and you could have the same test level, and it's like, just, I ain't doing that. Like, I'm just not doing that. Yeah. Like, I'm not weighing my food. Like they had me on a program once where literally I had to weigh out my food and put it in containers and walk around. And then when I went on trips, literally bring food on an airplane. And oh my God, okay, it's not sustainable. So guess what I said? Pound sand, I'd rather be fat, because I would be. Yeah. Now, I want to be healthy. I also want to look badass. I want the ratios. It's obviously everybody wants to be fucking shredded and veined out and whatnot. But if someone said, Brad, I can make you look as good as anyone looks physically, but you're going to take 9 years off your life, or you can live another 9 years and look pretty damn good. Not that good, but pretty good. I'll take that. Like, I'd rather look pretty good, but I'm married too. I'm not worried about a female. Now, if I were single, I just want to look pretty good and live an extra 9 years. Now, if they said, Brad, you can take the testosterone and still live the same amount of time because you're going to die at this age regardless, and you'll get there quicker and you'll look better, and it's not going to do anything for you to not do it. Well, then I'd do it. Why? Yeah. Well, because it doesn't hurt. I'm gonna die no matter what. So guess what? Let's get to the dance, brother. Yeah, Let's get to the dance.
So Brad, I would say the thing here is that everyone has these false beliefs. They've been fed by the health and fitness industry. We're going to eat less and move more. And it's 100% the wrong approach. Right. And so
eat less and move more.
That's what everyone says.
Well, again, there's going to be people in the comments saying you're full of shit.
Bring those.
Here's
comments.
what they say. Here's what they say. Calories in, calories out. Bottom line.
And I will say you are wrong 1,000% of the time. And that's why you walk through the airport in Austin or the casino in Vegas and everyone is fat. Because if it was as easy as eat less, move more, everyone would just do it. But
no.
Brad, listen, all that does is drain your willpower. As soon as
because first of all, eat less, move more. If you asked a scientist, see, I wish I knew a scientist.
Let's call them.
I don't know one. See, we should be streaming this. I could say any scientist call in, but I know people that will tell you, and dude, science will tell you it's calories in, calories out. Now, some people will say, listen, if you eat 500 calories of a Snickers bar and 500 calories of protein, yes, nutritionally, one is better, the other one isn't. But when it comes to losing weight, they're not talking health. You are. There's the difference. They're talking weight loss, calories in, calories out. Eat less, move more, lose weight.
And so, Brad, I'm not.
Hold on, let me finish.
Okay.
Because I think this is an important distinction for listeners. And I may be wrong. I'm just saying it like I believe it because I kind of do, unless someone convinced me different. Eat less, move more equals weight loss. Yes, it does. It doesn't equal better health. It doesn't equal balanced hormones and high serotonin and all the shit you're talking about. That I would say it probably doesn't, but eat less, move more does equal weight loss.
It equals what we could call the after photo syndrome. I can eat less and move more, and I can force my way down there. So I'm not debating whether or not calories are real, although we can say, they used to say, oh, calories in, calories out. And then we had to add the thermic effect of food. So if we eat protein, your metabolism goes up. But then Mark Bell's out here showing us if we do the sugar diet, our metabolism goes up faster.
What's the sugar diet?
Oh, the sugar diet is you just eat sugar, baby.
Is there a sugar diet?
There's a sugar diet. Mark Bell, you owe me for that shout out right there.
There's a sugar diet?
A sugar diet.
What are you supposed to eat?
This sugar.
What is that? I mean, nobody eats raw sugar.
So it all goes back to hormones.
Yeah, but what am I supposed to eat? Hold on. I like the sugar diet.
Honey, maple syrup, candy, Swedish fish, whatever you want.
And you'll lose weight?
Not only that, you'll lose weight faster so Brad, you just said this though. You just said if I eat less calories. But the thing is, on the sugar diet, you're modulating this hormone called FGF21.
And insulin.
And so your metabolism goes higher. So I'm eating just sugar, all sugar. But they said calories in, calories out. Well, there's more. Also, Brad, where do the calories go out? Where does that happen?
Your ass? I don't know.
Exactly. Well, I don't know. Calories in, calories out. You just go outside on a cold day. The calories.
Well, calorie is a measurement of heat.
Yes.
And so the calories out are expended energy.
Right. So, but we're not burning them. We're metabolizing them.
Yeah, but you burn when you run, right? You burn more calories because you're more active.
You're creating the oxygen deficit. Yes,
yeah. So if I want a deficit in caloric intake, like let's say I take in 2,000 calories and I go out and exercise every day, 2,000 calories worth, I wouldn't gain any weight because 2,000 in, 2,000 out, everything's perfect. I wouldn't gain a pound. But if I said I need to exercise 3,000, so now I'm losing, what is that, a half pound every time I do that?
Maybe like a pound a week or something. So,
I thought a pound is like 2,200 calories.
We probably say a pound of fat is probably closer to 3,500 calories, but regardless, I'm not debating that calories are real and that they happen and that there's thermodynamics in the universe. What I am saying is if we try to eat less and move more, whether it's healthy or unhealthy, whether the foods are the good foods or the bad foods, is all you are doing is draining your willpower, right? Every time I'm trying to eat less, I'm trying to move more. we're slowing down your metabolism, we're crashing your hormones. And so if we go with a calorie-centered approach, the statistic is by the time someone gets to my age or your age, they've seriously tried to lose weight 6 times. And every time they seriously gain back all the weight they tried to lose. Yeah. So it is not until you have the daily lifestyle and environment, which is only for hormone optimization. I do not have to worry about my calories. I've never counted them in my life. I never have to worry about my calories.
What does your diet look like?
So my diet will be let's say we're getting shredded, right? We're going to the Bahamas. So I'm going to dial down to that photo, right? We're going to eat 1 to 2 plates of food per day. We're going to eat it like a hockey game where we can have carbs because we just created insulin sensitivity. Now we want to take advantage of insulin.
You can have carbs in the beginning of the meal.
Carbs in the beginning of the meal, spike the insulin up.
Okay. So when I get to the restaurant and there's bread with butter, I can have a nice croissant with butter.
It depends on what we're trying to do right now. Like, are we going to take that $100,000 Andy Elliott bet?
Yeah.
Double or nothing?
Yeah.
People, you heard it here first. Brad Pitt is fathering another child, no TRT, and getting more shredded than before. Andy Elliott, come with the $100,000 check.
Well, he'd have to bet.
Okay.
I don't think he'll bet again because he lost the last one.
Ooh. Okay.
He knows when I put my mind to something, it's over. Now, the question is it possible? Well, all that's possible. The question is in what time frame? But go back to what you're saying, because before we get off this podcast, which we need to, because I'm starving and it's my window.
Okay.
I want the audience to hear your beast, feast, fast, sleep, or what is it?
Yeah. So core 4, beast, feast, fast, sleep.
That sounds like a good plan.
And so what Dr. Boyd was missing is I'm not telling people to do it this hard way where it's like, I only eat all the right foods. I count all the calories. I track all the macros, right? If you just go with your hormones first.
Okay. I follow you.
It's all so easy.
But let's speak leptin. Beast. Okay. What does that mean? Workout? We're
going to work out for Brad at least 15 minutes.
Okay. So before I eat, every time I eat, I better beast. What if I beasted in the morning?
We're going to plan it in the day. Do
you eat breakfast?
It depends on the day. Oh, this is the thing. I've got all the flexibility in the world to do these 4 things.
Do you eat when you're hungry?
When hunger means hunter, baby.
Okay. Right now I need to hunt.
Okay. Let's go to your office and do push-ups.
Yeah. But does that mean I need to go beast?
I'm saying you need to do the minimum level of beast. It's not the whole 15-minute workout, which would just give you incredible balance and mobility and core strength, but it's 2 sets of push-ups.
That's it.
You need to upregulate your GLUT4 transporter, create insulin sensitivity.
It's also something that you can earn your meal.
Right.
Because like, hey, I'm hungry. Well, I got to earn my meal. Boom. Right. Knock out some push-ups.
And so when hunger,
that's easy to do.
Yes.
So, but is that what beast means?
That beast means we create insulin sensitivity and we release growth hormone. It doesn't mean, so when the wolf goes hunting.
But if I'm hungry right now and I just go eat, I didn't beast.
Right. And now you have no insulin sensitivity. So why are we spiking your insulin with no insulin sensitivity?
Okay. So the key is exercise real quick for 15 minutes or so.
Do the right things in the right order.
Before you eat.
Every time.
Okay. Just like in the old days, we would have had to run after the deer to get it. And so we would have naturally beasted.
Beast before you feast.
Before we feast.
Yeah.
Okay. So beast, then feast is eat whatever you want, but carbs first, proteins last.
Put the leptin lid on.
Well, what if the bread makes you feel full?
Well, if the bread makes you feel full, we still got to put the leptin lid on, which means we have to have the protein.
Okay. So carbs first.
We can't eat.
What about last?
What's that?
What about last? Berries and cream.
So we want to, ideally you would have the berries and cream first. So this is for every day, for every regular day.
All right.
I'm not saying, we can't have dessert today when it's the special day, but every regular day. Even I will come in from a 15-minute workout and drink 2 Pilsner Urquells, the best beer in the world, and then I will eat my steak. It's like, oh no, you drank a beer. Yeah.
So protein last.
So protein last, put the leptin lid on and know that you're not hungry anymore, because if I can't sell you on another bite of your favorite steak in the world at your favorite steakhouse, then you're nourished.
Okay.
And you're
now
not hungry.
Now fast. And by the way, folks, you guys need to go follow him at Kruger Body. If you guys are also the kind of guys that are afraid to test, because dude, I know a lot of dudes. I'm like, dude, get on test. I'm being very irresponsible. I'm like, dude, just get on test, man. That camera guy of mine, he's 22, bro. He said his test levels are 300. Okay. I'm like, how in the hell at 22?
I got a lot of ideas why it could be that.
Well, he'll be interested in talking to you. So I said, just get on test. and he's afraid to. And so there's people, I just talked to some guy the other day. He's like, he's already pretty jacked. And he's like, dude, I just don't want it. Should I get on test? I'm like, go get your levels checked. I say, if you're 300 or below, you need your test. If you're not 800, you need some test. Or now that I've met you, I'm going to start saying, or do the shit that will naturally boost it and see where you are. Because that's all you're saying. You're saying, dude, you need it. But guess what? Most people don't. If they come to me, I show them how to freaking do this program, this formula. It's not hard. It's not rocket science. You don't need a gym membership. You don't need special foods. All you need is to this little formula. And then all of a sudden, you'll start to feel 1,000 times better and your test levels rocket. So there's going to be a lot of people wanting to do that they don't want the test. The people that want the test, they're not listening to you anyway. You know why? They have confirmation bias. They're going to say, you heard what the doctor said. Give me the test.
Yeah. So I would say 90% of my clients come to me. They want to never go on it. Maybe 10% come to me and they're on it. And of those, we can get like 8% off. And they're like, dude, 8% of my whole business, right? If I'm training clients online, 9 out of 10 people come to me like, dude, I'm never taking tests. That's why I found you. Right. One, of the other 10%.
If I could pick, that's the one I'd pick.
Okay. So let's do it.
Well, again, I'll try it. Well, I said, we'll have you back.
Yeah.
I'll be your guinea pig. I'm going to go with blood levels though. The blood doesn't lie.
You know what also doesn't lie? How many pull-ups you can do, chin-ups, push-ups.
I could care less about that, dude. I'm not in a fucking.
Well, but here's the thing.
I'm not in a PT competition.
Right. But we divorce. Oh, I want to have this ripped, like, striated physique. If you could just do 20 pull-ups, it should be no problem, right? Like,
yeah, but I've seen skinny runner looks that are just, I don't want to be a skinny, scrawny dude that can do 20 pull-ups.
Those are the dudes that can do 30 pull-ups.
Who cares?
But what I'm saying is,
I've never been laid because I did 30 pull-ups.
There's
ever.
But you have, handsome face, great voice, tons of charisma, but shoulder to waist ratio.
I got a good enough shoulder to weight ratio.
Yeah, well, it looks good now.
If I could drop it, maybe if I could just dial in the perfect for me, I'd probably go 33 waist. It's 32, dude. You're starting to get girl
32,
ratio,
but comfortable. Sliding on 30.
That's 30.
33 comfortable. The jeans are comfortable.
Even if the 33s fit like these 34s do, which are a bit snug. Like, in other words, 36s will be a little baggy.
Yeah. 36 people, for everyone out there, unless you're a giant, unless you are 2 meters tall, 6'8", those are your heart attack jeans. So if you're in the audience.
See, dude, I was 38 at one time.
Right. And we didn't have a heart attack. We got you back down. So that's great. But what I'm saying is, and this story might have a happy ending, right? I'm not sure. There was a guy, I talked to him June 1st last year. This dude should actually be on your podcast because he is rags to riches, right? Has his own private equity company. He's got all these offices, gorgeous trophy wife, beautiful kids, my age, right? 1983. He's the most successful dude at my actual age I've ever met, making $1 million a month in private equity. He's like, yeah, Chris, but I only spend $2 or $3 million a year. So, I'm saving $9-10 million a year. I'm going to be a billionaire when I'm 70. This dude's crushing it. And he talks to me. I'm like, dude, all I can offer you is my $30,000 VIP program. That's all I can offer you. Because if you do the regular program that the postal service guy and the public school teacher does, you're just it's going to be, we talk one time, you're not going to feel invested. Right. So I say, that's all I can offer you. He tries to bargain with me about it. Oh yeah. But I'm like, dude, you got 2 private jets, man. I know the guy that leases out one of your jets because I train him too. And so he says, we ended up not working together. This dude ends up going on a statin in December. And keep in mind, he's got the chef, right? He's literally the guy Dr. Boyd's talking about. He's got the chef, the personal trainer, the nutritionist, right? All in his pocket, the concierge doctor, all in his pocket. But he didn't want to do tests. And so he's wearing 36-inch jeans, benching 275, working out with his personal trainer. Talks to me June 1st. Doctors, we're supposed to be impressed, put him on a statin in December. He's out skiing and we're texting the whole time. He has my number. Like he's just, oh, Chris, I saw you're skiing in France. Hey, I'm skiing in Deer Valley. He has a heart attack skiing at Deer Valley at 41 years old, wearing 36-inch jeans. The guy's 5'11", 205 pounds. If you walked through the casino last night or the Austin airport, you would say that this dude was one of the best in shape guys there. But the bottom line is At 36-inch jeans, unless you're a giant, you have visceral fat. It is packing around your organs. It is packing around your heart, and it is starting to, marble your muscle like a Kobe steak. And so at that level, and those are there are corresponding triglyceride and HDL ratios that predict that. And funnily enough, is that funny? Funny enough, this dude just WhatsApped me this morning because he heard me on another podcast, and he's like, "Hey Chris,
where do I wire the money?"
He's like, yeah, exactly. He's like, "Chris, I heard you. I think the story can have a happy ending." And he already booked a call. I'm talking to this dude on Saturday, and we're gonna be like, "Okay, here's how we do it post heart attack." And so that's what the mission should really be about. Is we didn't get into this, but the whole reason I'm even in health and fitness is because my dad is dead at 18 years old with obesity, diabetes, heart disease, and cancer. And so that's the reason I've always been test resistant. I was never taking steroids in my 20s to get big, and I was never going to take TRT in my 40s because for me, it is about the health, right? And so I want to say, dude, you got to live and see these, your little children have grandchildren. And so hopefully that works out and we talk and we're taking off.
And not only that, dude, God probably knew what he was doing when he was, as you age, your testosterone declines. For some reason, I'm thinking God probably had it figured out. Why are we dicking with it? Because again, I always ask myself, why does our testosterone decline over age? Like that has to be part of the design.
Right. And so 50 years ago, the guy that was 70 had the testosterone of the guy that's today 35, right? Like we look at the numbers exactly and but like men's testosterone has dropped 50% in 50 years. And so all I'm doing when I say beast, feast, fast, sleep, natural hormone optimization, the high fertility, the high testosterone life is I'm restoring what you should naturally have.
All right. I like the beast. I understand it. I like the feast. Eat carbs first. Doesn't matter how many calories, just when you're full, stop.
We're going to we will get into specifics, right? We're not going to do, I mean, honestly, I just had one of my clients text me right before we came in here. It's like, dude, it's his first week, right? And people like typically lose like 3, 4, 5 pounds first week. And some of it's water weight, of course. Some people up to 7 pounds because they're flushing out all this inflammation. But he's like, dude, it is so much food. And I say, remember what we said in the onboarding call? I said, you didn't have to eat all of this, right? I think you've probably had this experience before. If someone tells you to eat 50 grams of protein, you could do that. If they tell you to eat 150 or 200 grams, you don't even want it.
They've tried. I can't.
You don't want the second New York, even though it's your favorite steak.
Dude, listen, when I started doing my thing and I had a DEXA, so my muscle went up and my fat went down. So when someone says you need this many grams of protein, they're full of shit because I stopped and I'm like, I ain't doing it.
Yeah.
And I gained muscle and I lost fat by just working out. And I was probably eating 80 to 100 grams of protein.
Yeah.
And I would not eat anymore. I just could not stuff my face anymore.
Right. And so I have clients.
But I still gained muscle. So dude, they tell you, if anybody tells you you have to do this, they're not telling you the truth, because I am a living example that I did not get a gram of protein per pound and I did gain muscle.
Despite what the doctors and
despite what who I forget who was telling me, you have to have a gram for every body weight. So I need 220. And I was like, dude, I can't eat 220 grams of protein. But okay, so I got the beast, I got the feast. What about the fast? What is that?
So the most important thing here, guys, once we have high serotonin, is that we have to win this game. Like Dr. Boyd's saying, they got stressful lives. There's things that high performing people do to stress themselves out even extra that they don't need to do. And so we're going to trigger the leptin. We put the leptin lid on. We're just done eating. We're moving on. We're working on our, building our business or whatever. But the game to get high testosterone is we got to max out our growth hormone and we've got to keep the cortisol low. And so the most important element of your fast, why your fast is working and some people's fasts don't work, is you need to stop eating a minimum of 3 hours before bedtime. And so if you stop eating a minimum of 3 hours before bedtime, it's not about, there is some element of your digestion, but the biggest thing is insulin is going to inhibit growth hormone. And so the most growth hormone you are going to release, Brad, is in the deep sleep phase of your first sleep cycle. Now, every sleep cycle, you have a deep sleep phase and you get a little more growth hormone and a little more, well, you get a little more, right? So it's a little less each time, but you're getting more and more. But that first sleep cycle is where, that when it all came out that the Liver King was a fraud, it was like, dude, this guy's taking 15 grand worth of growth hormone a month. dude, so that means a good night's sleep where we get the most growth hormone is worth $500 a night, right? Just at market rates to inject yourself with growth hormone. And so the most important thing is that we have time to turn the insulin down after the last bite of food, after we put the leptin lid on it. We return to fasting and we can look at your blood work, but we want that A1C and the fasting glucose to be low, especially at bedtime, so that first sleep cycle, you get this just massive wave of growth hormone in your sleep. And then you wake up feeling like $1 million. And then we can say, okay, well, now we're going to go outside. We're going to welcome the sun. We're going to take yesterday's tryptophan.
That's in the morning?
Yeah. Here's why we do it. We take yesterday's tryptophan and turn it into today's serotonin. And so we got to go outside. We got to be in the light. We got to have light in our ears. We can't just wear a hood and a hoodie and our AirPods all day. We got to take off, no matter how cool the sunglasses look, we got to take it off. And this is really, we got brain scans, right? We talk about this thing called substantia nigra. It's like basically the amount of neuromelanin in your brain, right? Your brain needs a tan. The way your brain gets tan is in your eyeballs. And so if you have substantia nigra, the dark substance, you become basically Parkinson's proof. It is so good for your brain, but everyone's out there. I got my hood on. I got my sunglasses on. I'm, head to toe polyester and I'm doing a 6-mile run. I'm walking my dog in my shorts, greeting all the sun, creating all this serotonin, going to turn it all into testosterone. And so the guy that listened to the people in the fitness industry and works out 10 times harder than me has none of my results. And they keep working harder and they wonder why it doesn't work. And so the truth is, for the whole audience, dude, you just have to win the hormone game. You got to stop worrying about the calories and how hard the exercise is and how hard you can push yourself and how sweaty you get at CrossFit. You don't need any of that. But if I want to give you a real fitness test, show me you can do 20 pistol squats. Show me you can do 20 chin-ups. And most influencers can't do it.
Dude,
so they say
20 pistol squats. There's not a lot of people that can do that.
Right. That makes you elite. That's what I'm saying, Brad. You can, people in your audience, they can be the guy walking through the airport in Austin or the casino in Vegas, or you can be elite.
Or you can be the guy doing 20 pistol squats.
20 pistol squats, baby. It's the best leg day there is. 20 pistol squats. My whole leg day at the hotel yesterday.
Is that 10 each?
No, 20 each.
20 each leg?
20 each leg.
Yeah, I'm going to try to do one here in a minute.
Okay. So bottom line, if we get to the end of life, Dr. Boyd, I want longevity, right? My wife is educated as a physical therapist. She's a stay-at-home mom now, cooking up my baby boy who's due in August. Physical therapy will tell you that if you want to have any quality of life left, you need to be able to go sit to stand. So you're sleeping in bed, you wake up, you sit up, you got to stand up, you got to walk to the toilet, you got to squat, you got to wipe yourself, you got to stand back up and walk back to bed. And if you can't do that on your own, or if you do that and your legs aren't strong enough and you fall and break a hip or you hit your head on the nightstand and crack your skull open, life ends very quickly. Life has zero quality. And so the highest level you can be above sit to stand to go to the toilet is, dude, I could do 20 pistol squats. I could do 34 pistol squats, right? So we can chase these personal records. And so when it's not like, oh, what's my test score with Dr. Boyd? But it's like, dude, Chris, I just did my 19th pull-up. Dude.
Yeah, pull-ups are freaking tough for me.
Right. So it's strength to weight ratio, but also pistol squat is the same thing.
But I'm also 220 and my back muscles aren't that strong anymore.
So make them stronger, brother.
Well, I am. I'm working out.
Okay, let's go.
But pistol squats don't do it.
Pistol squats make your legs stronger. That's what I'm saying.
That's what I'm saying. I'm talking about backs, pull-ups.
Yes, both. The answer is both. Push-ups. So if we had to get you down to 6 exercises, right? Chin-ups, pull-ups, push-ups, dips, all with a great range of motion where if you put it on Twitter, no one can talk shit. Like, dude, my pull-up is from here to here, right? All of those, and then pistol squat on each leg. And if you are elite in those, you just make yourself a 1 in a million person. And the 1 in a million person has high natural testosterone. And it is not hard to do.
Well, folks, I'm gonna try it. We'll see.
All right.
We'll see. Only because Mama wants another boy or a boy. So I might have to stop the test just to get the old swimmers back in action. Folks, listen, regardless of whether or not you guys are interested, and by the way, what if they're below 40? It says 40 plus, but you help someone 30.
Yes.
So dude, go to @KrugerBody. It's fitness education for men. You can also follow him on Twitter at Chris Kruger, TSC.
Brad. Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to talk over there, but like, don't follow me on Twitter.
Why?
Or actually you know what? I have a Twitter. I don't post anything over there. Oh. So Instagram at Kruger Body. If you are looking to actually hear from me, that's where you would go.
And that's KRUGER.
Yep.
Folks, you heard him. Go blow his ass up. All the fitness people that disagree with this whole thing, go blow his ass up and tell him in the DMs.
Tell me in the comments.
Tell me in the comments. Tell me in the DMs. Just blow his ass up. And then if you're like, man, I like the idea of not doing tests. I like the idea of being healthy versus aesthetically a little bit better, but dying quicker. Well, then go give Kruger Body a try. But always, until next time, keep it real.